John, you can start it.
All right, so can you start by saying your name and where you were born?
My name is John Perros, and I was born in Athens, Greece.
All right. How about you tell us a little bit about how you came over to America?
Well, after I finished high school in Greece, I was able to come in America with a permanent visa, and naturally I stayed here and made a beautiful family, including him.
So during your time in Greece, how did the Greeks view the U.S.?
Okay, I saw the questions there, but you got to remember we're going 70 years back. Okay, so situations were different there. First of all, I was 4.5 when the Second World War started. Okay, and we have the German occupation there in Athens for 4 years. I think it was 4 years. And I grew up during that time. Of course, things were very tough then. But I and my mother were fortunate that we had family in the village. And when they ever got a chance, they would bring us a basket of things to eat because things were very tough in Athens. So, but the Germans were good. I mean, at least for me and the people that I knew around my neighborhood, they didn't do anything bad. The Germans didn't do anything unless you did something to them. They would always retaliate. As a matter of fact, they had posters all over the place. You say, if we find one German dead, we will kill 10 people. So that was, I guess, and they did it a lot of times, but that was to avoid conflicts, you know.
Yeah.
And but other than that, if you didn't do nothing to them, they didn't bother you. The only thing was, I never forget, every night when I would go to bed, I would hear those boots on the sidewalk. Bum, 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 walking on the sidewalk. But other than that, it was okay.
Let's see. Vijay, ask your question.
How are the people in Greece compared to the people in the U.S.?
How were they what?
The people in Greece compared to the U.S.
Well, I mean, the culture is different. The mentality was different, you know, but they weren't that much different. In every country you go, the people might be a little different because of their culture, their beliefs, and so on and so forth. But mainly, the bottom line is we all the same thing, regardless where you came from. I didn't have problems here, except friendly problems, because after I came here, 3 years I got here, because I came with a permanent visa, I was drafted in the military. Those years you had to spend your time, 2 years in the military. So I went to the military, and I came out as a sergeant, and because I had taken French all my school years in Greece, those years it was very important. They were teaching the language in all the Greek schools, the French, because the French was considered the national language those years. Of course, the American language took over, you know. And because of that, I guess, I'm guessing, when I went to the military, I went through my basic training in Fort Benning, Georgia, and after that, they assign you to different jobs, you know. With me, they send me to France. So, hey, I was lucky. I was happy because I've been in France and I have a good time. I went there and they made me a truck driver, truck and trailers. And I want to tell you a little story. When the guy came to the train to pick me up and took me to the base, he drove me through the motor pool. You know what motor pool is, right? The motor pool is where you park all your trucks.
Oh,
Okay? So he drove me through there, and I looked those heavy trucks I never seen before in my life. You know, in Greece we didn't have that. This was truck and trailers, huge stuff. So I said to him, I said, gee, guy, who the hell drives those cars, those trucks? He looked at me as casual as possible. He says, you will, buddy. I said, oh, me? I said, I've never seen a truck. He says, trust me, in 2-3 weeks you'll be behind the wheel. He was right. He was right. But it was a great duty because it was run like a private company. We go at night to bed that have a trip ticket. Trip ticket is an order where you going the next day. So you knew the next day where you were going, and you get your clothes, you get, you know, all your stuff, and you go and pick up because they assign you to a truck. You pick up the trailer and you had it whatever you would. I went all over France. I went in Western Germany and in northern Spain. We had bases there. I was stationed in the middle of France, and they would fly all the supplies there from United States, and we would have to take them and distribute them all over where we had bases. It was a great duty. I can't complain. I enjoyed myself very much. As a matter of fact, when my time came to be sent back to the United States, my sergeant says, Greek, no, they never knew my name. Greek. And he says, Greek, he says, it's my duty to try to recruit you to re-enlist. I said, Sergeant, I'll be happy to. If you promise me or guarantee me that I have the same job that I had here. He says, you have to go to the United States and they will assign you. And then you go. I said, forget it. So I came here and I got back in civilian life. I was working at a fast food restaurant, and for a couple of years or so. Then I end up opening my own business, my own restaurant, and end up at one time I had 6 different restaurants in one area. If you think that didn't drive me crazy. But I sold most of them. But I was smart to get, I was living in Norfolk. I was smart to get to the ocean front, okay? And there I started having the restaurants. And it was a beautiful thing. You work very hard, but then during the winter I would close them down and didn't have anything to do. I got married to a lovely girl. I had 3 beautiful daughters. His mother is one of them, and 3 beautiful grandkids, grandboys. I only had daughters. Then the daughters gave me the boys. So that's it in a short thing. What else can I tell you?
How is the culture different in Greece from the United States?
Oh, it is, John. I mean, I don't know how you can compare it, but in Greece, you grow up, you be living in different things. At the time when I was about your age, even younger than you, we had the king. We had a king in Greece. No parliament or nothing. We had a king, and it was a good thing, you know. But then, of course, after that, they did away with the kingdom, and now they're having a little. But the last few years, 3-4 years, in Greece, they had some issues because they got a president that is left, you know. He's friends with the communist type of thing. So they're hoping this year they have elections, that they're gonna elect the other group. You know, it's like here, you got 2 different groups,
2 different parties.
the Democrats and the Republicans, that they're gonna elect the other group that is a Republican-like
Yeah,
group,
not communist. Yeah.
not communist.
So, like, during your process coming to the United States, were there any, like, struggles, like, getting used to, like, the United States or, like, the culture shock?
Oh yeah. Let me tell you something. The culture shock was culture. It was. I mean, I had to adjust to it. Not only that, I didn't speak English. Okay, so I had to adjust to it. I had to learn the language, and in order to do that, I was smart enough that I enrolled myself to a school, public school here. And of course, when I took my papers, the principal, I had a good friend. I had a friend that I met, and he was the translator for me. The principal looked at the paper and says, he can apply here. He's qualified to go to college because I have finished. In those years, the high school was a little bit more advanced than the American high school. And I mean, like at the time in high school, we were taking geometry, we were taking all those other lessons that you usually get in college. So my friend told me in Greek, says, hey, they don't want you because you're overqualified. So I said, please tell them, I'm not here to finish school. I'm here for a little while to learn the English language. I'm not going to stay long, maybe a few months. So he convinced the principal, and he let me go. He let me in the school, and I got to socialize with the high school kids, you know.
Yeah.
It was a good experience because the mentality was different at my generation, my people in Greece. So I got Americanized pretty good, but the best school that I went, it was the military. The military taught me a whole lot of things. how to get along with people, how to sleep next to a guy that you might hate. You follow me? It was a different mentality. And that was another thing that helped me a lot. So after I finished my military obligation, I came out and I was able to interact with all the people, especially in my business that I had a restaurant. And I had all types of customers and all. And as a matter of fact, those years, it was the mentality that they were against black people, you know. But in my restaurant, I would let them in. I would never, because I kept on saying, even those years, I said, what in the hell is wrong? They're human beings like us. They're not different, so what the hell? You're all discriminating against them. So some Greek friends, educate me on it. But I said, it still is not right, you know. So anyway, to make a long story short, I had a lot of people working with me that they were black people. To me, they were good people. I never had any problem. If you want to compare with whites with blacks, you know. I had some problems with the whites and not blacks.
So, what traditions that have stayed with you that since your time in Greece throughout your life?
What?
What traditions that have stayed with you from Greece throughout your life?
Oh, there are a lot of things that I learned when I was growing up in Greece that, you know, my mentality, the way that you talk to people, hard work, all those ethics, that was the ethical things those years. You want to be good, you go, like here, when I got the chance to America, everybody, good friends of mine and family, my mother, used to tell me, you need to go there and you need to work hard and make something of yourself. And this is what I did. I'm not bragging, but I'm proud of myself that I came here as an immigrant, not speaking English at all, and I accomplished what I have accomplished now.
That's crazy.
You know what I mean? I'm not a rich person, but I'm a well-off person. I was a well-off person until now that I'm staying with my daughter because, I need some physical help. But I educate 2 girls in James Madison, and I paid for it out of my pocket.
Wow.
They didn't have to get any loans. They don't have to get anything.
Wow.
The third one, I sent her there. She wasn't a type for, to take that route. And after a year, she says, Dad, don't spend your money on me. You're wasting. I want to come with you and stay in the business. So that's what I did. But the other 2 girls, I educate them. I pay for their JMU, and I'm proud I did that.
Folk festivals are considered common in Greece. Have you ever been to one of these festivals, and if so, describe the experience?
I'm sorry, you got to talk a little loud.
Folk festivals are common in Greece. Have you ever been to one of these festivals, and if so, describe the experience?
What kind of festival?
Just like folk festival, Greek festival.
Oh, Greek festivals?
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
And also over here in United States, I was very much involved for several years. We do a Greek festival there every year. And I was in charge of it. And because of my experience in the restaurant business, of course, I didn't do it all by myself. Don't misunderstand me. I had some good friends that were backing me. We were serving thousands of people. and making big money for the church. Because the money we were getting, they were for the church, and they were giving a certain percentage to the needy people. You know, not the Greek people, but the needy people. They're still doing it. They're still doing it today. As a matter of fact, it was last week. They finished it.
You were in the restaurant business, but what kind of traditional foods did you serve in your restaurants that were from Greece?
The first restaurant that I opened, I used to call it the Greek Connection. And I was serving Greek food because I saw in the area that I was living here that the Greek food was very well liked for people and they couldn't find it. And I did very well business, very well. I had a lot of famous people come in my restaurant. As a matter of fact, I had Zaza Gabor, you might all know who she was, no?
No.
Zaza Gabor, those years, was a very famous actress. Okay, I had some congressmen, I had political people that I was associated or being friends with, because that always helped in the business, you know. The mayor, everybody. So, and they used to come to my restaurant, and I would treat them, and I would become friends with them. And then I went to the ocean front, and I opened a restaurant which is still today called Giovanni's. It's close to 60 years old. And I sold the business last year, and it's Italian food. Italian with some Greek dishes in it. And it's still existing now.
As a kid growing up in Greece, what were some of your favorite things to do with the other kids?
Oh, one thing we did in Greece was the soccer. I mean, as little kids like this, we used to play on the streets. We didn't have balls. We used to make, our mothers used to make the balls from rags and wrap them and make a ball. And we'd go on the street and play on the street. Then, as time changed, we got balls. We were playing with balls. And I also got into basketball because I was tall and all, and I played basketball for my high school, and I play I don't know if you know, if you heard it's still famous today, team in Athens. It's called Panathinaikos. And I play in their third league, and then second, and then I had to come to America, and I left it. But in Greece, what you do when you play for a big team, they have the third level, the second, and if you're good, you go up to the first, which is the professional level. And then you make the money. On the third and second, you don't make any money. It's just the fame, and of course, each company, each team had their own circles, third and second level things, and you will compete with it. You know, you will competing against it.
I think we got enough.
Yeah. Thank you a lot for doing this, Papu.